when you think about and the legacy 50 years ago and then 50 years forward, what does that mean? What does the legacy mean to you?
It would just make Jim so happy. I mean, he would work at least 14 to 16 hours a day, when this first started. And he would say, I want to leave something for James and Deborah. He would always say that. I said, don't work so hard, and because I was worried about him. And then when he had his stroke and James took over, I was so happy that I was really happy that James took over, because he had been helping Jim, since he was a little kid. So it was so nice that James could do it. James could take care of everything. He really brought the company from the dark ages, in my opinion, to the modern world.
I think when we talk about legacy, you see a lot of the younger generations going into the ministry because they've gone along on some EO trips.
Right.
I think of Bishop Swanson's, one of his sons went into the ministry after a trip to the Holy Land. So, a lot of second generation, I think even third generation now. Obviously, EO's been through a lot of ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
Wars, rumors of wars.
Right.
Did you ever think we'd see something like COVID?
No. Remember what I told you before it even got started. This is the worst thing that's ever going to happen to EO. This is going to be the worst thing, because I knew with the lockdowns, well, how is people going to travel with lockdowns? Really. And then you couldn't even go to Israel to study, to walk in the footsteps of Jesus. Okay, Satan doesn't want you to walk in the footsteps of Jesus, doesn't want you to read the Bible. It was almost like you went back to zero.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I shouldn't worry, but I prayed for you. I did pray for you a lot, that it would come back, But it's just human I think to worry.
Yeah.
I think it's just human.
Yeah, it's a motherly thing to do.
Yeah,
too.
I think so.
Yeah.
But anyway, and it just shows that God's hand is in it.
I think, when you're the second generation, you have big shoes to fill, particularly in this case, and not just your father's shoes, but there were a lot of people involved at the beginning. Looking back on things, a lot of people that gave inspiration or helped arrange the educational program. You want to honor that legacy and try to keep true to what the inspiration and those values were. You also get to put your own fingerprints on the legacy, but always look back and say, okay, what was the true intent here? And hopefully we've done a good job with that, and haven't messed things up too much, I suppose. In the early years, it was just, okay, let's try to get everybody together and have world-renowned theologians speak to groups, and that was something. You didn't have YouTube in the 80s, and you just couldn't listen to all these people. You had to go. Now it's more, can you adapt that educational content to make it meaningful to each individual and give them that. So things change, but you want to come back to that same core, the essence of education and learning the Bible, and I think over time it's developed into also learning about other people and how they are Christians and where they live. Those are big shoes to fill. Coming back to the main question, we have a great team here, and everyone has embraced that, and we've adapted it for 2023.
I would just pray that educational opportunities not only continues but grows, because it helps people's faith to be involved in the country where Jesus was, and they can relate more to what they're learning in Sunday school or church or whatever, because they can say, I've been there.
Being where Jesus may have walked and sitting there and reading scripture with our group was pretty amazing.
Well, I'm excited about the next 50 years for EO because I sense a craving in people, in laity and clergy, for the gospel. Jim Ridgway, the founder, said to me over and over, Bob, EO's a ministry. It's travel, of course, but it's ministry, bringing people into a closer relationship with the gospel.
Our work is not done. It's just beginning. The future is still bright. There's still so much to be done. To be a blessing and to be a positive force for the work of the church and for the plan that God has for all of his people.